My name is Maggie Wong. I am User Services and also Business Liaison Librarian here at HKBO Library, and I'm your MC today. For first-time attendees, Library Faculty Connect Day is an annual event where we celebrate the partnership between libraries and faculties in school. We have covers three main topics. So we have teaching and learning, research feasibility, and library resources. We have got faculty members, vendors, and librarians here to share with us some library news and updates, and also their library stories. And after all of these talks, we have a Q&A section, so please save your question to the end. For people on Zoom, you can also submit your question to the Q&A box as well. So now I can sense that our university librarian is very excited to open this event for us and to share his favorite quotes with us all. So now let's hear from Chris, Mr. Chris Chen, University Librarian, to give us his opening remarks.
Well, thank you very much, Maggie. I'm so transparent. My excitement is just shining through. And Maggie's absolutely right. This is my favorite day of the year, Library Faculty Connect Day. I look forward to it more than any other date on the calendar because, as Maggie said so well, it is a day when we come to celebrate the connections between librarians and our faculty. First thing I almost forgot, I have to send apologies from the provost. He wanted to be here, but he's trapped in a very boring committee meeting that he couldn't get out of. But so he misses the fun this year, but he sends his regards. And as I guess Maggie's very used to my quote. In fact, when she prepared the slides, she even put in this quote on the new template without me asking her because she knew that I would include it, and I was intending to include it. And if it is your first Library Faculty Connect Day, maybe you haven't seen it before. If you're a library colleague, this may be the 5th or 6th time that you're seeing it. But I think it's so important from Professor Lanks, who's a professor of librarianship, as you can see there, in the US. And so it's the mission of librarians. So his area of research is really thinking about what is librarianship? Because of course, the root of the word is, from books, taking care of books. And that is still important. But this expanded mission to improve society through facilitating knowledge in our communities, I think is really reflected by today's program in terms of thinking about how to improve the student learning experience, our teaching experience, as well as enhancing research visibility. And just a short anecdote, as university librarian, I have opportunities to go to external events. And every time I'm introduced, hello, I'm Chris, I'm the librarian at HKBU, invariably, the response is something along the lines of, oh, you must really like books, or oh, so you buy the books. And yes, we do buy the books, but we don't just do that. And even though I shouldn't say just do that, because as Becky knows, buying books is a very complicated process when you're doing it at our sort of scale. So that's really why I look forward to this event, because we can really highlight and showcase all these different things that we do to facilitate knowledge creation in our communities. So I'll leave it there because I'm very excited to go on to the full program. So thank you very much, and I'll hand it back to Maggie.
Thank you, Chris, for the inspiring words always. So if I ever get a tattoo, I would consider this quote on my arms. All right, now we move on to the main course of today, the first main course, which is teaching and learning. So we are going to talk about Leganto Reading Lists. But before I introduce our next speakers, I want to share a fun fact about Leganto with you. So Leganto is not really a word from a traditional language. It's actually from a conlang, constructed language called Esperanto, if I remember that correctly, just like if you watch Star Trek, like the Klingon language. So it's made up, and it means one who reads. So it's perfect name for a reading list, actually. So now let's hear from more about this reading list from Miss Sylvia Tam from Shek Mun campus, and she's the Shek Mun campus assistant librarian, and Miss May Wong, the information services librarian. And after that, they will show a video testimony from Dr. George Talbot, and he will share more about how he used Leganto reading lists in his courses. All right, Sylvia and May, please.
Good morning, everyone. This is May.
And I'm Sylvia. Today, we are excited to introduce our recently implemented Leganto Reading List to all of you, a powerful tool to enhance the experience of both instructor and students when they were engaged with the course reading materials.
It highlights the benefits of Leganto and demonstrate its key features.
Also, we will have a short video from George, an instructor from the Academy of Music, who will share how he used Leganto Reading List in his summer course.
So before we dive in, let's take a moment to reflect. How many of you still remember, have ever used our previous course reading website?
Yes, that's good. So our old course reading platform was really helpful when most of our reading materials were print books and articles. For websites and PDF files, you may need to upload them separately on Moodles, and end up your course materials could be scattered across various platforms.
So as your librarian, we always hope to provide excellent services to you. We see Leganto as an opportunity to increase the flexibility and improve user experience. Therefore, we start using Leganto from this academic year.
Since September, we have created reading lists using Legantos for our course resources and tailor-made lists for specific courses. This is how a Leganto reading list looks like.
Leganto is designed to make the process of creating reading lists in an easier and user-friendly approach. There are many advantages of using Leganto. It integrates seamlessly with library resources and Moodle. When creating the list, you are free to add internet resources and share your files.
It also promotes collaboration among colleagues in building your reading list and enhance student engagement through various features in the Legantos and also the usage analytics. More importantly, you can reuse your reading list for future courses, streamlining the preparation process, and it's an all-in-one platform for managing your course reading materials.
It would take another hour to elaborate all the advantages. So we'll first focus on three major features: collecting the library resources, enhancing collaboration, and usage analytics. Sylvia, what do you think is the most important feature of Leganto?
I think it's how well it connects with the library resources and Moodles, allowing a smooth transition. You can easily add library resources from the one search to your reading list. For example, print books, ebooks, articles, videos, and more.
With just a search and a click, you can easily build your list. Let's take a look of how to add library resources in Leganto.
So here is the library reading list page. So click on the add button, select search the library, enter search terms, for example, titles or keywords, and press search. And then you find the item you want to add, just drag it to your reading list. Is that easy?
Incredible! With just a few clicks, you can build a comprehensive reading list with library resources. For e-resources like ebooks or articles, the students can access the full text directly online from the list. And for print materials, they will also view the current availability.
Managing resources could be challenging, but Legantos allows you to add websites. You upload your PDF file easily with just a few clicks. Let's see how to do it. Click the add buttons again, and this time you can select upload files or either manual entry. Leganto support various types of resources. For examples, articles, books, book chapter, document, websites, and a lot more. You can just drag and drop your files here or follow the on-screen instructions can do.
What's more, you can customize the list into different sections. For example, for this list, we have grouped the items into different sections of books, articles, and videos. And you can arrange the section according to your teaching schedule, like by week or by topic. And for each item, you can make use of the tag and notes to add additional information to students. For example, for optional readings, you can add a recommended tag, and you can also add a note to a particular item to elaborate on what the book is or ask the student to read a particular chapter.
Hey, May, have you ever worked with other colleagues to build your reading list?
Yes, I did. I create a reading list with my colleagues for library exhibitions. So it's convenient and we all know the progress when we are working on the same list. Leganto fosters stronger collaboration between colleagues or teaching assistants when building the list together.
Yes, you don't have to manage everything alone. You can invite your colleagues to collaborate with you to build your reading list.
Exactly. For example, core courses for undergraduates usually involve multiple instructors. Now they can work all together to build a cohesive reading list.
Adding collaborator is very easy. Go to Leganto again, click the list info on the top, and then click manage collaborators. This time you can search by names or email. And then this is how Leganto make it easier for you to share and work together on course readings.
So, by the way, do you know whether the student have ever read your assigned reading or opened the document you have uploaded, whether on our old platform or on Moodle?
I'm not sure either. There hasn't been any clear indicator showing whether my students has viewed or downloaded those files.
Here comes another powerful feature of Leganto. With the real-time analytics reports, you can see how many active students are involving in the list, how many students are viewing the full text access for the whole list and for each item. They can also mark the item as read after they have done the reading.
These powerful features provide valuable insights for student engagement and helps you understand the students' learning progress.
Well, at this point, I'm sure you're eager to hear some real teaching experience.
Let's introduce George from the Academy of Music, who create an impactful reading list to engage his students.
Indeed, he is one of our pioneers in DIY reading list. He incorporated library book as well as YouTube video in his reading list for a summer course, which resulted in high student engagement.
Although George cannot join us in person today, he has recorded his insights for us. Let's watch his videos.
Good morning, everybody. It's an honor to be able to share with you. My name is George Talbot. I have been working as a part-time lecturer at Hong Kong Baptist University in the Academy of Music since January of 2021. During this past summer, I was approached by Ms. Wong about this new resource, Leganto Reading List. I wasn't familiar with it, and usually I'm pretty slow to adopt new resources into my classes just because just out of habit, I'm not really an early adapter. But whenever she described this resource to me, it seemed to me like it was worth considering bringing it into my courses because given the nature of the course that I was going to be teaching during the summertime, an introduction to English language popular music, so basically a music history course, I could see ways where using this resource would be very beneficial for the teaching process and also could be helpful for the students as well. And so I received some training on it. She was very kind to provide some firsthand training, give me an opportunity to see how it works, and I was surprised to find just how easy it is to learn how to use this resource and start to populate it with reading resources and other resources that were going to be useful for my course. So specifically, how did I use this? I used it by including the course textbook in a way that was very accessible in a digital format for the students. Because I was using a textbook that did not require me to teach every chapter, I thought it wouldn't really be reasonable to require the students to purchase the book. And so having Leganto as an option was very attractive to me, to provide the book resource for the students in a way where they wouldn't have to spend excess money but could still have an opportunity to review the course material. And not only that though, but I also was surprised to find just how convenient Leganto is for using other resources that fit in with modern teaching practices. For example, in this course, as well as others, I use a lot of YouTube examples so that I can play musical excerpts for my students so that I could use this for educational purposes. And so I'd noticed in the past, though, when I would use YouTube as a resource in class, a big problem was just that if I tried to bring it into the teaching process, I would sometimes be interrupted by unnecessary advertisements that could really disrupt students' focus, and at worst even contain content that's just awkward and embarrassing. And so it's really difficult to manage a class and keep everyone focused on the topic at hand if we have all of these extraneous distractions. And so when I discovered that Leganto was an easy way to not only populate a relevant catalog full of useful teaching examples, but also avoid the issue of advertisements, I was very happy to continue to use this. Not only that, but it's incredibly easy to populate these catalogs. I just designated each teaching day from the syllabus, like basically lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3, and then just uploaded all the relevant resources there so that students could conveniently access them. This was especially important for my class because I gave a lot of listening quizzes that would require students to listen to the examples that I introduce in class and be able to recognize them if I played them again in a quiz setting. So they would have an opportunity to review these particular examples outside of class. That way, when it came time for them to do their assessments, they at least had a suitable amount of time and a convenient pathway to do the revisions so that they had an opportunity to succeed. And of course, the benefit for this is that now, at least even after the course is done, as long as they continue to have access to that reading list, if they heard any music that they liked and wanted to know more about, here again, then they still have access to that reading list so that it can promote long-term sustained learning outside of the boundaries of our classrooms. And so this was definitely a very suitable way for me to use the resource. And not only that, but being presented with the statistical analysis of how the reading list was used by my students at the end of the class, it really underscored how practical and beneficial this was for them. I was shown the statistics after the course had concluded, and it showed that a modest number of students had accessed the textbook, 13 total. But the number of students who watched the videos to review was over 600 times. And so having a class full of 20 plus students, each one of them clicking on these videos, listening back and preparing well for their quizzes, it demonstrated that this is a resource that fit in very well with students' modern sensibilities, how they review, how they find information using technology, and trying to find it in the most convenient and accessible ways possible. So I think that although this is just a single class sample size, this, I hope, is compelling evidence to at least intrigue you as my colleagues to consider using this as well, and maybe also recommend it to other colleagues who may also be interested in finding a way to include modern technologies in a way that will fit in with contemporary student sensibilities and habits into the teaching process, because in my experience it has proved to be very effective. And of course, if you populate a resource list once and you teach the same class again, then you already have this set of resources ready to go for you in the coming semesters and academic years. You can of course continue to modify it as time goes by. But the nice thing is that it is connected with the course codes. So if I teach this class again or other classes in which I've already started to use the resource as well, then it's already ready for me, very conveniently accessible. So these are some of the advantages and benefits that I've discovered by using the Leganto Reading List. Of course, I know that many of you may be thinking, can I not just use Moodle? Isn't that good enough? And of course I could say, well, yes, you could, but why not use this incredibly convenient resource that compiles the relevant examples that you want to share into a very accessible package, making the teaching and learning process more convenient for us as educators and more convenient for the students. We know that nowadays people are prizing convenience as the coin of the realm, so to speak. And so if we can work along with that attitude, then this is going to be something that will help us to really reach students in our modern context. I thank you all for your attentiveness and hope that this sharing has been encouraging to you, and I hope that you would consider using this Leganto reading list as well in your teaching processes, just as I have used it in mine. Thank you all.
Thank you for George's valuable sharing. As you can see, there are many advantages of using Leganto reading lists.
Leganto is more than just a tool. It serves as a gateway to enhance your teaching experience and also enriching your students' learning experience.
By streamlining the resource management and provide insightful analytics, you can focus on what you do best, teaching.
We hope you are excited about Leganto reading list as we are.
So in the first semester, we have built the list for you. Now you have another option to create and manage your own reading list in second semester. And we are organizing a DIY workshop to help you get started with Leganto. If you want to get hands-on experience on using Leganto, scan this QR code to join our DIY workshop in early January.
If you prefer self-learning, we also prepare a LibKey guide for you. You can follow the LibKey guide and then you can create your reading list from scratch very easily.
So feel free to access our Leganto reading list page for more details and contact us if you need any help from the library. That's all for our sharing. Thank you.
Thank you, Sylvia and May. And from what I hear is students are in trouble because now teachers will know like whether how many students have used the reading list. So do take a screenshot, photo of this page if you want. I'll just go to the library website and you will find the page as well. So up next, moving on to our research feasibility section, we have Ms. Yvonne So, Digital Scholarship Manager, to tell us more about the research sharing technology and support the library can give you. So now may I invite Yvonne?
Morning, everyone. Thank you, Maggie, for the introduction. My name is Yvonne, and I'm from the Digital Initiative and Research Cluster of our library. So before we begin, I would like to take a quick poll on the current methods that you use to boost your research feasibility. So I invite all of you to take out your phones and please scan this QR code and select as many options as you can. And I also invite the participants on Zoom to do so as well. So while you are completing this poll, maybe I'll just very quickly go over the list of options that we have gathered, some strategies that are suggested by known publishers. So perhaps you are already using a research, you already have a research profile to promote yourself and your research on either ORCID or Scopus or LinkedIn. Are you already publishing on an OA friendly journal? I suppose, I believe most if all of you will already be using IRIMS already to upload your research activities. Do you currently have a blog or website? Are you using any lay summaries or providing any visual abstract for your summaries, for your research to engage the public? Do you support data sharing, or do you use any metadata for your data sets used in your research? And how do you promote your research? Do you have your research publications being covered or published by news media, or do you present them in conferences, or perhaps do you use the social media to promote your research? That's okay. Maybe I'll just refresh the screen. Okay. Wow. Okay, interesting. So as we can see here, we see most of the results here. Many of you selected open access, which is a very good and promising poll result here, as we do encourage you to publish on open access journals. and conference, and very traditional method of promoting. So today my discussion will be in three parts. So first, I will introduce our library's open access initiatives and do a quick recap of our IRIMS system. And then I'll go into the website development and the digital scholarship services that we provide. And then finally, I will go over some of our library's current strategies in promoting our scholarship projects. And hopefully, maybe you can find some inspiration from this discussion. So we're now living in a digital era. And in order to establish a digital footprint and to promote yourself as an academic, as well as your research, you should be discoverable online. You have to have a online profile, a researcher profile, whether it's LinkedIn or ORCID. So as you all may know, ORCID provides you with a unique ID, which serves as a digital passport to your profile, and which can allow you to correctly attribute your research work to you as the author, and allows you to differentiate yourself from other researchers. So if you have a LinkedIn profile or any other forms of social media, it can be a very good source of tool for you to promote. And for other people, when they mention your work, they can attribute the work to you as well. So other methods maybe include having a personalized website or having a blog to regularly update your research activities and outputs on these websites and blogs. And finally, our university, through the use of IRIMS, we provide a scholars database, which you can also update your profile and research outputs. So very quickly, our library currently manages two of the three integrated research information management system IRIMS modules. So that is the publication backend, which is the backend where you can upload your research information, your publications for open access, and as well as your personal profile. So you can update your information on this publication backend, and you can control which information you want to present for generation as a public CV or private CV. And we do manage another module of this IRIMS system, which is the research portal. That is a public open front-end portal, which allows the public to search for your open access journals, as well as browse your scholars' data. The third module is actually for research grants, being currently managed by the research office. So we, as the university and also the library, very much encourage our academics to publish an OA-friendly journal. So the benefits of open access is fairly obvious at this point, as it raises the visibility and prolongs the lifespan of academic research by allowing an unrestricted online availability of scholarly communication and scholarly research, allowing any user to freely and openly access, download, and share those contents. So if you have to publish in a non-OA journal, please consider licensing your work instead of transferring the copyright. And another initiative of our library is the Green OA initiative, where colleagues from our team may approach you for collecting manuscripts that you have published. So of course, our colleagues will first have to confirm with the publishers that Green OA is acceptable. And then if you do receive such emails from our colleagues, please do respond to them, and please do share your manuscripts with us. And our colleagues will upload your manuscript to through IRIMS for open access. And another strategy of our library is pursuing open access publishing agreements, also known as transformative agreements. But I will not go into too much detail in this arena, because I know my colleague will be speaking about more on transformative agreements in an upcoming presentation. So besides IRIMS and the research portal, our library also currently offers an online platform for journal peer review and publishing in the form of an e-journal. So we currently have 4 e-journals being maintained and regularly updated. So if you are interested in publishing in these e-journals, or if you have some ideas for a new journal, please do speak with us, and we'll be interested to further enhance this collection of e-journals. So now I'll go over one of our digital scholarship services for creation of a website with library. So the purpose of digital scholarship is, again, to extend and prolong the lifespan of academic resource. And the digital scholarship project is a co-developed project with HKBU academics and the library. So it is a collaborative effort by the library and the faculty PI. And the way it works is that the library will oversee the project development and management life cycle. And then the faculty PI will give an input into during the project development stage. And we would also provide advice on the data template and the data tools that can be used to collect data, and as well as the format and the structure of the data sets. And we will also be responsible for design and developing the backend and front end of a website with an integration of the data set that has been collected and prepared by the faculty PI. We offer a digital scholarship grant. It is a grant of up to 200,000 Hong Kong dollars per project. And we have 1 round of applications each year, and from September to November every year. So this year's applications just recently closed. So the applicants should be research assistant professors or above. We do offer a non-grant track. Simply put, it is a when the applicant has already secured or been awarded a grant. It doesn't have to be a research grant, but they must have already been awarded grant. And then we can provide the technical support and as well as the hosting services for the digital scholarship project. But of course, the digital scholarship grant remains our top priority. So our services has been began in 2013, and over the last 11 years, we have already developed over 40 digital scholarship projects. One of these projects, History in Data, is a collection of 12 independent projects co-developed with different faculty members under the same department. And it's very encouraging, and it's very promising to see that this project has reached over 1.5 million views as to date. And another project of ours, HKBU Heritage, we collected work from 26 departments. So almost all of the departments has collaborated with our library, either by co-development of the project or by contribution of the materials and student work to the project. Again, this project has reached over 1 million views as well. So I want to very quickly go over the types of projects that we've completed in the past, and the type of technologies that we can achieve through this development of these digital scholarship projects. So whether your research is very audio or visual based, we can create a website for you with photo albums showcasing your images or photos, and either with 3D modeling, and as well as animation, or we can create a web page with textual descriptions as well as audio clippings and video clippings of your interviews or your research work. Or if your research is very logical or map-based, we can create an interactive map with superimposing historic images over the map, and also you can implement geotagging meaning that each specific data point is tagged with particular information, which allows the user to browse more into each data point, which is also searchable as well as can be filtered for a more interactive experience. So digitization is another big component of our digital scholarship project. So this is one of our own TV film project where we digitized hundreds and thousands of pages of TV film document pamphlet materials with OCR capabilities as well as AI indexing capabilities. So we've also developed a corpus for very textual research-based projects. And if your project is very data centralized, we can create a dashboard for data analytics, or it can be timeline specific as well. So through consistent metadata application compliance with the schema.org, we can apply consistent metadata throughout all of our digital projects for the ease of search engines as well as database indexing. So this is just an example to show you that we have created an API for one of our project data sets, which is that TV film that I just mentioned. So the public, with the use of through the use of API, can retrieve any digital record from our project TV film project data set. And all our digital records are optimized for a universal search across the digital projects. So in our library, we have a universal search engine, which allows the user to input a keyword to conduct a search across all the records throughout all our digital projects. And it will return all the projects with records that are related to the keyword that you searched for. So currently, as you can see in our database here, we have a variety of information being stored and can be searchable. So we have digital documents of over 280,000 documents in here, and as well as some images and videos that are searchable as well. So in my last part, I will share with you some of our promotional strategies for sharing your research. So with the completion of our digital scholarship project, we will invite the PI to conduct an interview, maybe a short interview of 5 minutes, to share the research with the public, as well as to share the experience with working with the library on the digital development of digital scholarship project. And these videos will be uploaded to Hong Kong YouTube. And with some of these videos reaching over thousands of views. So it is a good opportunity and a good method for dissemination of the information of the research to the public. From time to time, we also organize a digital scholarship sharing session. So this was one of the sharing sessions that took place in this TTDC Common last year, where we also invited project PIs to attend and share their research with the students and faculty members and the public. And besides the two sharing methods, we also have conduct project launch events where we invite students and faculty members to attend, where we showcase the project as well as the functionalities of the project and the research. Also, some of our previous projects have been covered or published in newspapers as well. And as you can see, we would, if you can have a look around, we are currently having a digital scholarship exhibition as well. So we will have exhibition on completed projects from time to time around the library. So, and showcasing some of the newest technologies that we have implemented in the digital scholarship projects and AI technologies involved. Last but certainly not least, we host a annual fall symposium on digital scholarship, where we invite the project PIs as well as guest speakers from overseas universities or local institutions to share with us their research and their most up-to-date insights on the trends and on AI, how it will influence digital scholarship and digital humanities development. And we also leverage the social media as well. So we frequently publish on all forms of social media to introduce and present our latest digital scholarship projects, as well as we will highlight some open access journals. So as you can see here, this is Dr. Rooney, who will be our next presenter. So we have these frequent posts on all around the internet. So thank you for your time today. So to very quickly sum up my part of the presentation, I have asked AI to generate this word cloud here without providing it any of my presentation content to the AI. So I very simply asked AI to generate for me a word cloud on the ways to enhance research visibility. And I think this pretty well sums up my presentation with the use of websites, sharing of information on media, and collaboration, and with open access. So yes, I think this is a very good sum up of my part. Okay, if you do have any questions, or if you are interested in developing a digital scholarship, or if you have any questions on scholarly communications, please feel free to reach us. So thank you.
Thank you, Yvonne. And if you haven't checked out any of our digital project yet, I highly recommend you do. It's very easy to find on the library homepage, and each digital project has their own specialties, like special content. It's really fun to explore them. Each one is very special and different. And now, before we're gonna make one of our speakers a co-host first. But now let me introduce the next speakers, the Dr. and Reverend James Rooney, from Assistant Professor from the Department of Religions and Philosophy. And he will share with us how he promotes his research through IRIMS and transformative agreements.
Thank you very much. Now, I don't know if it would be possible, probably. I didn't ask ahead of time to pull up, for instance, my academia.edu, but I just wanted to share with you, I have a very short stump speech about some of these things because I only have about 5 minutes, so I'll be mercifully short. My basic thought to share with you first, the library put together a short illustration of the way in which my IRIMS records illustrate that the open access versions of my articles have received greater views, greater impact. It gives you a small amount of empirical data that the open access actually works, okay, that people actually view it more. I just want to underscore that this is in fact a very simple point that I'm going to make, which is nobody's going to know about your research if they can't find it. Okay, it's really quite there's no special logic here, right? So I just want to underscore a few things that I do that I think probably would be helpful to everybody. The first is having a personal website is obviously in our day and age much more important than having a business card, a professional academic website. I put together a very simple website on Google Sites. I encourage you to do the same. It's very simple. I just have a dynamic link to my CV. So when I update my CV on Google Drive, it automatically updates the one on Google Sites. I just have a front page. I could illustrate if I had access to the computer, but I just have on the front page my picture, my bio, my books that I've published recently with endorsements. I have a link to my CV and a link to my teaching profile. So it's very simple to put together one of these through Google Sites. It takes about 5 minutes. So it's nothing very complicated. But of course, having a site like that is about the equivalent of having a business card today. People can find it. It's easy. It gives people access to who you are. So it's more important, I think, than having a business card today. But the same is true, I think, also of these different databases we have. So the obvious one that they were going to show you has to do with IRIMS. So I find IRIMS, I'm going to be very honest and perhaps undermine our speakers today a little bit. I find IRIMS very unnecessarily complicated and convoluted, but it's part of our so the way I see IRIMS is it's part of our internal bookkeeping because many of the things from IRIMS populate immediately into other databases that the university has. That's why it's important to put things in IRIMS. But I have to be honest, I don't think people on the internet tend to find too much there. The statistics on here from IRIMS show like 60 people visited my IRIMS documents and viewed them, which is statistically negligible. By contrast, I want to share with you the open access articles that I have, the websites themselves, the journals keep statistics on those. I've had like 20,000 views on some articles directly through the journal website. 60 on IRIMS is like, nothing. It's internal. But what I want to just suggest is the open access does make a difference, of course, for people to view it. But I'd also put this out there, even if you don't have open access agreements. Not every journal has open access agreements and all that kind of thing with the library, but I would underline, I have two different websites that are very helpful for me that I could show you, have quite a lot of significant hits, each of them, and downloads. The statistics on these. Academia.edu is an obvious one, and then I also have Phil Papers, which is one for philosophy. Both of these, what I do is every time I publish an article, I put up a preprint draft on both these websites. Again, it takes like 2 minutes. Usually what happens is I get an acceptance letter, I write it on my CV, and I put these two up and then share it on Facebook. It's very simple, but of course what happens is people then are able to access it without a subscription to the journal. It doesn't violate any copyright agreements if it's preprint before the proofs have been issued. And it provides an easy way for people to know whether they want to go and find the full version to cite. So it's a very easy way to take some steps so that your research will have greater impact. So that's about all I have for you today. You're welcome to try to look me up on Google. You can find all this stuff. Of course, as they mentioned, presenting at conferences and other things, but it's very helpful to have these kind of it's just a sort of business card these days. This is how people will find your research. And so that's why I would encourage you to try to have some such avenue where you can put your research online so other people can access it. Even if not everything is open access, that's not going to happen. So try to do what you can, and I think it's very helpful. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ronnie. And I think we all appreciate Dr. Ronnie's honest feedback about the system. It might be difficult to use, but I think the main point is just put your stuff out there in as many places as possible, increase the exposure of your research. And on to the last main topic today, we are going to talk about library resources. And firstly, we have Ms. Annabelle Casper, UKI and APAC Senior Customer Success Manager from The Economist. And she's right now in the UK, which is, I think it's 3:49 a.m. over there. So she's very dedicated to her job. And Annabelle is already online with us, and she will share with us about how we can use The Economist subscription from the library to its fullest. And let me just pass the time to Annabelle so she can go to bed soon. Annabelle, please.
Thank you so much. First of all, I apologize for my voice. I hope we can get through this. Let me just share my screen. Give me one moment. Okay. Can you all see my screen? Yes? Perfect. Great. Thank you. Okay. Well, hi, everyone. Thank you for joining today's session. And again, apologize for my voice. I've got some tea, I've got water, so hopefully we can get through it. My name is Annabelle Casper, and I'm HKBU's current Customer Success Manager here at The Economist. The aim of today's session is to take you through the best ways to utilize your access to The Economist, which is available to you as a faculty member, and hopefully highlight some key areas of our content that you're not aware of. To begin with, I'll be starting with a brief intro to The Economist Group for those of you who aren't aware of our beginnings and the businesses that make up our great brand. I'll then take you through the different ways you can access and utilize our content through an active demo of economist.com, and hopefully this will allow you to customize the way you read or listen to our content in order to suit both you and your students' needs. I'll also be able to take you through how to activate and register under the subscription as well. Lastly, I'll be able to walk you through our newest feature, which is available to you, as you'll now be able to utilize your subscription to The Economist via Microsoft Teams as well. Now, I'm not sure if we'll have time for questions at the end. Please feel free to comment in the chat if you're joining virtually. Anyone in the room, you can also reach out to Becky and the library reference team with any questions, and we'll be able to, I'll be able to answer any of those as well. From its beginnings in 1843, when the Economist newspaper was founded by a Scottish hat manufacturer to further the cause of free trade, the Economist Group has evolved into a staunchly independent global media and information services company with intelligent brands for an international audience. Just one of 4 uniquely brilliant brands, The Economist has helped readers grasp the great drivers of change, from technology to geopolitics, finance, and economics. In recent years, our journalism has expanded online onto apps, podcasts, films, subscriber-only events, interactive infographics, and social media. And at a time when trust in media is low, our commitment to rigorous, fact-led journalism is unwavering. At the core of everything we do is our independence. We're clear about what makes us stand out. Timely provision of insight and context, quality, not quantity, rigor, and wit. While today's focus is aimed towards how you as faculty can utilize Economist content in an engaging way for your students, I'd like to highlight an additional way that The Economist can help you upskill and progress personally within your career. A number of our existing academic clients utilize Economist content in a number of different ways, whether it be through their reading lists, sharing content in internal channels, or using it as a research tool. In addition to this, some of our academic faculty members go the extra mile and sign up to one of our education courses. Combining these courses with access to The Economist has allowed faculty members to initially enhance their skill set while allowing gained knowledge and understanding to continue. On the screen now, you can see a snapshot of the top courses that our academic faculty engage with. They run online and at different times throughout the year. But if you or any of your colleagues are interested in finding out more about these courses, I'd highly recommend, again, getting in touch with Becky and the library ref team to start that conversation. Now, if you have not yet registered or activated your access, you can simply scan the QR code on the screen now, or you can head to our homepage on www.economist.com and click Login. Here you'll need to put in your hkbu.edu.hk email address, and our system will automatically redirect you to the Find Your Institution page to select your organization. Here you'll need to select Hong Kong Baptist University Library, because there's a couple of options there, and that will then redirect you to HKBU's authentication platform, where you can enter your same credentials that you put in daily. Once this has been completed, you'll be redirected back to The Economist, and you'll be able to access our content on both website and our apps. Again, if you experience any issues with the registration or activation, Becky and the library ref team are the best people to go to, and I'll be able to speak to them about any of these access issues. Once activated, you'll have full digital access to both economist.com and our Economist apps through your subscription. This includes both our Economist app and Espresso app. While the bulk of our content is on our website, our apps are definitely the product of choice for most of our subscribers, as it allows subscribers to engage with our content on the go. The additional benefit of the app is that it has audio associated with our content. You're able to download and listen to our weekly edition, as well as listen to our narrated articles, which you can also save and listen to offline. You can access our podcasts and podcast series easily through the app, as there's a specific podcast section showing current and previous episodes, similar to other streaming platforms. You'll also be able to find the most recent World Ahead, which is our annual forecast publication, as well as our sister long-form publication, 1843, on the app. Now, hopefully that's all given you enough time to activate. If you haven't, don't worry, I'll be sharing this deck around after the session alongside any of the content links that I'm going to be discussing, so you'll have this on hand. So let's dive into the demo. Okay. So most individuals see The Economist as predominantly business, finance, and economics focused. However, in reality, we cover a wide range of content, including forecasting, visual data journalism, science, culture, technology, and society. Now, today I'm going to take you through some of our content that steps outside of the norm to highlight that additional value that you'll be receiving from activating your subscription. To kick things off, I'd like to bring attention to our drop-down menu, which you can see here over on the left-hand side. This will be the easiest way to navigate around our website, as you'll be able to see search for our current topics, regionally split content, industry-specific content, and additional content like our podcasts, newsletters, and films. The first notable section I'd like to discuss here is the World Ahead 2025. This is our annual forecast publication that looks at the top trends that we believe will impact and influence the year to come. With the elections, conflicts, and technological advances of the last 12 months, we hone in on the 10 trends that we believe will impact 2025. Now, this was only released a few weeks ago, and after the year that was, I would highly recommend engaging with this publication. You and your students will have access to this via e.com and the Economist app until our next World Ahead is released, which is in November 2025. Now, if we go back to the drop-down menu, you can see down the bottom, we've got our current topics section. This makes for an easy and direct way to view content based on major themes. In particular, I'd like to highlight the artificial intelligence section as an example. This will include all AI-driven content from across our website. It includes podcasts, newsletters, and even from our additional publications as well. Navigating back through the drop-down menu, you can find our in-depth section here. This covers most of our longer form and visual journalism. We find that a lot of our academic subscribers often utilize this area of content when researching or writing reports, as there's always clear and detailed analysis of the topics being discussed. The first section I'd like to highlight here is graphic detail. If you are a researcher or analyst, our graphic detail section dives into our visual journalism. Charts, maps, and tables have graced the pages of The Economist since the first edition and continue to be highly regarded. Well thought out charts and graphics convey something astonishing at a glance or provide context with dozens or even hundreds of data points. They're hugely popular on social media and have a prominent standing in both our Instagram and TikTok pages. Throughout each of our articles, you'll notice citings and mentions of other sources that are used to create each article. We'll always include written references to other sources if they contribute to the content. Similarly, you'll see citing for any charts or graphics used, which you can see here. Any charts that are created by our data journalists will note The Economist underneath them. Therefore, all graphs can be utilized in academic writing and reporting with correct citation. Another area worth noting in our in-depth section is our content that sits under special reports, technology quarterly, and essays, which you can see here. These are comprehensive analytical reports that provide an in-depth analysis of various topics. These usually span across a number of articles, similar to chapters, and are released every few months. As the name suggests, our Technology Quarterly covers major technological themes like AI, where our special reports and essays cover a range of topics, from international relations to climate change, from healthcare to politics. Moving on to our science and technology section here, this is the best place to find all content pertaining to both of these themes. This section is updated weekly, so you should always be able to find up-to-date content here. When selecting our articles through our website, you'll always be able to see the save, share, and give options, which you can see under the illustration here. Selecting the save option will result in a pop-up leading to your saved stories, which you can also access through the My Economist drop-down in the top right-hand corner. Saving articles allows you to flag the content you're interested in reading so you can easily come back to it after you finish browsing. You'll also be able to share articles easily. This is through either copying the article link, scanning a QR code, or sharing through different channels like email or Teams. A number of our academic faculty and lecturers share content with their students daily, which is a great way for students to maintain engagement with specific topics, especially if these are relevant within their studies. Navigating back through the drop-down menu, we find our Culture and Society section, where there's two notable areas I'd like to highlight. The first is our 1843 publication. This is our sister form publication. Again, this is longer form journalism that takes a narrative approach to topics rather than an analytical. Unlike articles for The Economist, 1843 articles have bylines, as many of these pieces relate more closely to the correspondent's experience as a reporter and discuss topics on a more personal level. 1843 covers a multitude of topics, which at times can be quite emotive. Excuse me. The second section on here is The Economist Reads. Now, this is quite an interesting area of our content that many of our readers have not necessarily utilized as often, but can be a great place to start when beginning any research or reporting project for both faculty and students. In this section, our journalists suggest different sources that can increase understanding of certain industries and cultural specific topics. As an example, you can see how our journalists have suggested 7 sources that could help individuals understand modern feminism in a more detailed way. Right down the bottom, which you can see here, our journalists usually highlight different content that The Economist has previously published on the topic, which again can add value to an individual's research. Excuse me. Skipping over to the far right of the drop-down menu, you can see our additional content that is available to you, which branches out from the usual article-specific content. Podcasts are a great way to keep up to date with news and global issues while you're on the move. Personally, I access podcasts mainly through the Economist app, as you can see past podcasts, so you can catch up on any that you've missed, whereas on economist.com, sometimes you can only see the most recent. We produce a mix of daily and weekly podcasts, which you can see here. On the app, there is a separate section for podcasts, which you can find at the bottom of the screen on the navigation bar. You're also able to connect these podcasts to other listening platforms like Apple Music and Spotify to make it easy to listen to. I would definitely recommend adding our daily podcast, The Intelligence, to your news routine. You can find this one here. This podcast discusses the top trending events of the day in a colloquial and conversational way. I find that presenters often get to the crux of the issues being discussed in a succinct and easy to understand manner. Now, our next section is our newsletters. Newsletters are another great way to find our most current regional or industry-specific content and have these sent straight through to your email. Through the newsletter tab, you can sign up to any of our 22 newsletters, 18 of which are only available to subscribers. You can see some of these are sent out daily and some are weekly. Our newsletter team are constantly expanding our range of newsletters, so this is a good page to be aware of in order to keep up to date with changes and new newsletters. In the past few months, we've seen 5 new regional-based newsletters. These cover anything from regional conflicts to business and economic impacts to political changes, and are a fantastic way to curate regional content in order to understand country and market analysis. In addition to our regional newsletters, our fortnightly climate change newsletter, The Climate Issue, which you can see here, may be of interest. It includes an essay taking a deeper look at big climate news, as well as providing a roundup of climate articles, charts, podcasts, films, and events. Now, the last section I'd like to take you through is actually our subscriber-only event page, which you can see here. Here, you will have exclusive access to our specialist correspondence through a series of digital events. These events cover a range of topics, including existing geopolitical conflicts, current global issues, and themes. They're usually every few weeks, but as you can see on screen now, we actually have 2 events coming up. The first is actually later on today at 4 p.m. GMT, where our editor-in-chief will be looking at the last 12 months and the major political, technological, and conflict shifts that have occurred. The second event, over on the right-hand side, will be an active debate between 3 of our editors, and it's about their picks for Country of the Year. Every year, The Economist publishes The Economist Country of the Year, where we take into account a country's achievements, innovation, or improvement. In order to attend these events, you will need to select the Reserve Your Place button, which you can see here. Since you are based in Hong Kong, and usually these do run on a UK schedule, if you're unable to attend the event, once you've reserved your place, you'll receive a recording of the event sent straight through to your email, so you can always watch it when it suits you. Our correspondents usually run a live Q&A session during these events as well. So you can also send through questions beforehand, or if you do attend, you can send them through the event, which makes it quite an interactive experience. As a final note, we are now fully integrated with Microsoft Teams, which means once you have activated your access, you'll also be able to download The Economist on your Teams platform via the Microsoft App Store. You can do this by scanning the QR code on the screen now, which will lead you to the download page. Downloading will require authorization from your workplace administrator, but once this has been confirmed, you will be able to use your Economist login to access our content through Teams. You can share and discuss content with colleagues and students through different Teams channels, allowing our content to be available within the platforms that you use daily. Any content that's shared will then lead you out to our website where you can continue browsing. This brings us to the end of today's session. I hope it's been helpful and you now feel equipped with different ways to experience and engage with our content. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Annabelle, and I hope you feel better soon. And thank you for joining us live, really. We appreciate it. And as you heard, like Annabelle has name dropped Becky a lot throughout his presentation. So our next speaker is Becky Wu, resource management librarian, and besides The Economist, she will also highlight some upgraded and new subscriptions from the library. And followed up by Becky, we will have Ms. Venus Lam, Information Services Librarian, and she will be introducing us a fantastic browser extension that will help smoothen your research journey. It's called LibKey Nomad. And now may I first invite Becky.
Okay, thank you. Annabelle mentioned my name a few times. For the Economist of Microsoft Microsoft Teams, no worries. Our ITO has already helped us to install on our Microsoft Teams, so you can simply just pin the Microsoft Teams Economist app so that you can receive the updates and read the articles very easily. So I'm going to share with you some e-resources highlights, which is a very traditional part for the library faculty connect date, but it is a very important part. Okay. Okay, there are some enhancements of our current subscription, like the Business Source Ultimate, historical abstracts with full text, and some journals archived from the CNKI databases. And you can see that there are a walkthrough package coming soon in the 2025. And I would like to highlight that traditionally, you may think that work is a more business field databases, but like the Economist, it actually have more others contents that are suitable for other departments. Like they will have, for the full package, they will have some contents for media and also from some marketing. So other department may also find it helpful. So you can have a try after its launch. And you are welcome to contact our librarians to have some workshop or some introduction on this full package. And beside the enhancements, every year we will have some new resources. There are some highlights. There are free primary source on the Gale platform. So you will think the Gale primary resources may be only for Department of History, but I just chat with our vendors Gale, and then they told me that for the China and the modern world and the state papers online, actually they are also suitable for the arts and social science departments, and also even though for the film studies. Why? Because you may know many Hong Kong movies will have the background of the colonial Hong Kong. you can actually find some official history of Hong Kong in these primary sources. And then you can know the culture, the socials, or even the film background more from the primary sources. And for the big British Library newspaper, they are focusing on the 19th century UK newspapers. So besides the history department, maybe journalism or English language and literature may also find it useful. So please do have a try on it, and then you may find some interesting things there. And then next is ebooks. Yeah, Chris said books. We of course is still building our book collection, and we have a new platform, college ebooks. It is only on the Chinese ebooks. So currently our this platform is more focusing on the Chinese medicine topic, but we are expanding it to other subject areas. So if your departments are interested in the Chinese ebooks, please contact your liaison librarians, and we are very happy to generate the title list for you to do the selection. And then two coming soon new resources. The Site AI, I think some of you may know about these AI resources. And besides consensus, we are going to have another research support AI tools, Site AI. There are some features that may not available on consensus. So you can compare these two and then let us know which one is better. And then the Harvard Business Publishing Education, there are many case studies on the business side. So maybe more focusing on the School of Business, but no worries. We have a list of resources and are available on the QR code A to Z database. And there may be some resources that may not be relevant to your departments, and you may think, why would you, the library won't support the other resources? So if you want us to subscribe more resources that related to your departments, if you receive our liaison librarians email asking for your comments on the trial resources or the book selection, please do share your comments to us, because your comments is one of our major evaluation criteria. Sometimes we didn't receive your feedback, then we will assume the resources may not be needed for our faculty members. So remember, our liaison librarians emails are very important. Yes. And then now I'm going to move to another exciting topic. You may already learn about the open access, and I know 24 of you have already published your articles on open access. So there are 3 publishers coming in the 2025 with our OA agreement. First is the DeQuitter. DeQuitter, we are more focusing on the humanity and social science English collection. The reading pass will be increased from 8 journals to 114 journals, which is a big increase. And then they have no quota for the OA publications. And so you can, for humanities and social science college, you may consider to publish your articles open access for this publisher. And then the second one, Elsevier. I think most of you know about Elsevier, and the demand for Elsevier is very high. And Elsevier is not a very easy negotiable publisher. So it takes a very long time, almost 2 years for the negotiation. And we finally signed an OA publishing agreements with them. You can see that for the read part, we currently have 600 something titles. And then for the coming year, we will have over 2,000 titles that you can read the journals and articles. And for the publish part, they have quota. Yes, of course, they will have quota. And then not all journals, not all 2,200 journals will allow for the OA publishing. They are only available for the hybrid journals in these 2,200 titles. So I hope you will find this useful, especially for the expanding on the reading part, because they are very expensive, you know. And then the last one is a smaller publisher, John Benjamin's, may be more suitable for the translation and the language studies. And we have only 19 journals for access, but they allow us to have the open access publication on all of their journals with no quota, a very generous publisher. So we hope the expand of the 3 new OA publishing agreements could help you to publish your research articles. And we have actually 10 more that you can scan the QR code and learn more. Because this is an early announcement, we actually have not yet officially announced these 3 publishings. So if you would like to know more details on it, please wait for our official announcement, and please read our emails from the library. Yeah. And then I will now going to pass to Venus, and she is going to share with you some hints on accessing electronic resources.
Thank you, Becky. Hi, this is Venus. After having some updates on our e-resources, let's take a look at tools that can make accessing our e-resources much easier. That is LibKey Nomad. LibKey Nomad acts like a key to unlock academic resources. It is a browser extension that connects directly to our HKBU library resources. It also can help you to bypass the paywall and save time checking for access. It's shown as a blue button with HKBU library logo. For example, if you are searching on some citation databases like Scopus, LibKey Nomad will automatically identify the materials, check that if it is available or under HKBU library subscription. If it is yes, it will show a download PDF buttons next to the record. You just need to click the button and you can get the full text directly. Even if it is not available electronically, LibKey Nomad will guide you to our library services like Interlibrary Loan for requesting a copy. About the central deployment at HKBU. As you may realize, in this November, special thanks to ITO colleagues, with their help, LibKey Nomad browser extension was centrally deployed on all HKBU staff computers. You can find these extensions on Google Chrome and Microsoft Edge. If you want to download or install on your personal computers, you can go to thirdiron.com/download Nomad this link. Download LibKey Nomad does not require a special user account. You just need to go to the download page, scroll down to the bottom. You will see the green box here. Just pick the broad browser you use and follow the instruction to install. After installation, you can pick Hong Kong Baptist University as your institution. That's it. You can now start to use LibKey Nomad. Feel free to try it out. If you have any questions or need help, contact library or your liaison librarian. We are happy to assist. With LibKey Nomad, you can find the academic resources easily and make your research journey smoother and more efficient. Thank you.
Thank you, Venus. And just regarding Becky's point, if you do have any suggestions for library resources that you think we should have, please don't hesitate to send your suggestion to us. And we really value your input in building our library collections. And also download LibKey Nomad is really useful. So before we go to the Q&A section, I would like to have a round of applause to all of our speakers and also colleagues who have made all of those work possible. Also Annabelle. So now let's move on to the Q&A section. Are there any questions from the floor or on Zoom? See, let's check on Zoom. The Q&A section. No questions so far. So I guess our speakers have done a fantastic job in explaining everything. But don't worry, even later on you have a question or when you actually started using LibKey Nomad or accessing our resources, you got a question, you got a technical problem, feel free to reach out to the library. Oh, thank you, Daisy. Wondering how easy it is to export from Leganto. Shall I pass this to May or Sylvia?
Thanks for your questions about the export option in Legantos. And actually, Leganto allows you to export your list, your reading list, to a wide range of formats. For example, PDF, Words, or other formats. And if you want to know more, we can add this instruction in our lib guide because we haven't added it in. So if you want to know more, just let us know. And I hope I answer your question. Thank you.
Thank you, Sylvia, and thank you, Daisy, for your question. Are there any more questions so far? Yeah, Shelley?
I have a question regarding the open access. Where our preprint document will be put if we send it to our librarian.
Right, and so the preprints will be onto the IRIMS.
And to put the preprint, pre-published print manuscript to IRIMS, that will not violate any publisher's rule, right? You will check. Okay. Okay. If upon the agreement of the publisher, do we also need to seek the agreement from other co-authors of that paper? Yeah. Authors. I see. Okay, thank you.
Thank you for the question, Shelley. Just to reiterate what Rebecca has answered in case Zoom participant didn't hear it. So you can just submit your works through IRIMS and our library team will check whether it is according to copyright. And if you have other co-authors on the paper, then we can also help to check with those co-authors. But if it's external scholars that you're working with outside of HKBU, then you might have to just check with them. You right? First, yeah, okay. Thank you for the question, Shelley. Oh, all good. Okay, one more question.
Dr. Rooney? Yeah. Do we need to pay if we create a Google site? Good. No money at all. Oh. Okay.
I mean, one of those kind of things. It's like a business card, but they already have, these websites, if I put it bluntly, academia and other things will try to make you pay for it. So just put out things that are.
Okay,
I
good.
think that you don't need anything more than that. Everyone can access everything. The other academia, LinkedIn, trying to get you paid for things as a scam.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shelley, and thank you, Dr. Roney. So don't pay for anything. So use the free version as much as you can. It's more than enough, I believe, to help with promoting your research. All right. Any other question? If not, let's take a group photo, like for on-site people. I'm sorry, Zoom people, you should have come. Okay, we got from Rebecca.
But actually, the usage of the IRIMS is very high. It's over thousands views every month. So it's also a way to promote your research because it's through the university. It's somehow having the accreditation of the university. So thank you. Yeah, and also we will link the IRIMS data to the RGC propagation gateway. This is also one of the usage of the IRIMS data. But also thank you, Dr. Ron, for your input for the Google sites and other things. Thank you.
Thank you, Rebecca, for the additional information about IRIMS. So you should also put your stuff in IRIMS, and also like Dr. Ronnie said, just use any other channels you have that's free that you can use to promote your research. So now may we have the photo. Our talented photographer, Andy, will help us take this photo. Thank you so much, Andy. And we're almost to the end of this event. But to end it nicely, may we have Ms. Bethany Wills, our Deputy University Librarian, to give us her closing remarks.
Thank you so much, Maggie. And this is my first Library Faculty Connect day. And now I know why it is one of Chris's favorite days, if not the favorite day of the year. It will certainly be one of mine as well. So my closing remarks today are going to be brief and also focus on appreciation. So thank you so much to all of the presenters today for sharing some of the many ways in which library resources, services, and also the expertise of our library colleagues can contribute to teaching and research. So thanks to all of the presenters, both here and on Zoom and around the world, for being with us today. Thanks also to Maggie, fantastic MC, really appreciate it. Yes, round of applause. And also to Nancy, our head of user and information services. Her meticulous planning has really enabled us to have such a smooth and I think you'll agree successful event today. I also want to thank other colleagues, of course, across the library whose dedicated work makes sure that we continue to further integrate our library resources and services into teaching, research, learning, and hopefully into your workflows as well. And finally, last but certainly not least, thanks to all of you for being here today. We very much appreciate it and appreciate your participation, your time. We know that there are many demands on your time and appreciate you being here today. So thanks again to all of the participants, presenters, the UAIS team for all of their wonderful attentiveness in setting up the venue, and to all who are involved today. I hope I am not failing in singling anyone out because it's really a collective effort. So again, we appreciate it and we look forward to future opportunities to collaborate and explore partnerships with faculty. So thank you very much.
So while you're still doing this survey, let me just thank you again for coming. And the party is not over yet because we have free coffee and tea that you can have right here, generously sponsored by Chris and Bethany. Thank you. And for student people, if you're nearby, you're welcome to come on down to the main library to join us for the coffee. And if not otherwise, goodbye and see you again next year. Thank you for coming.